Disclaimer: the information and education material contained herein is meant to promote the general understanding and dialogue of GAN's processing. Such information is not meant or intended to serve as a substitute for a healthcare professional's clinical training, experience, or judgment. For patients and individuals, such information is not to be a substitute for professional medical, therapeutic, or healthcare advice or counseling. For medical issues or concerns, including decisions about medications and other treatments, readers, viewers, listeners should always consult their physician or, in serious cases, seek immediate assistance from emergency personnel. Prescription information, procedures, and use of medical devices information should be undertaken only by properly trained and certified medical personnel. We specifically disclaim any warranties, express or implied, including implied warranties of merchantability or fitness for a particular purpose. Such information is provided, as is, and is believed to be accurate at the time of its publishing, but it is the viewer's job to evaluate the accuracy of any information found in this presentation. Every case presented is of their own experience, applied by themselves for themselves, and it applies to their case only. Every person experiencing health problems should seek professional medical advice and consult their course of treatment with a doctor. The processes of plasma balancing described herein are a natural process which supports the body but does not replace medical advice or therapies one is already subject to.
It's time for change to move into the real work of the universe. And it's time to understand that we use the matter state to reach the level of understanding of the soul of the man. Now you understand maybe why the Creator has sent his messengers in the name of whatever you have had. Is that they bring the ears, that it can be used when the time of the Messiah comes. They can teach the soul and the message, not to oppose, but by them understanding through those who have become messiahs, to give from their souls to these to elevate, the job is made easy. The school is there and the students are devotedly there. Then there won't be any fight between what they call the Muslims and the Christians. The lamb and the lion will eat and sleep in the same nest. The Christians and the Muslims will sleep and pray in the mosque and in the same church in the name of their souls, not in the name of religion. That is used to create so much conflict for the benefit of those who were the hyperactive children. The time has come, the time of change is here. And as I said, my wish is my command. If it's your wish to see peace, the path of peace is laid very clearly. It's the soul of the collective awareness, by giving, will create that position of change. No other thing. There is no pen in the soul of the man. And I'm sure once you go into the universal community, you will never see anything written but the balance of the fields of the soul of the existence. Try to be humble enough not to and you possess. Otherwise you'll fall in the same path of the church and the mosque. This is what we promised, and this is what we have delivered. We have to understand the operation of the soul, and we have to understand the soul of the man is a star in the cosmos of the universe. If we compare the soul of the man and many of us, 7 billion in one collection, Earth is like a galaxy with so many stars. When we look in the depth of the universe, we see galaxies with hundreds of millions of stars in it. So is the planet Earth. It carries 7 billion beautiful stars, which are the soul of the man. Carries with it soul of so many trillions of animals, plants, and everything else. So if you look, when someone who does not see the physicality of the earth and its content, what do they see? They see a galaxy with so many beautiful lights shining, each one according to their strength, each one according to their position. An infant has a beautiful soul, so has the old man. To those who do not see the physical dimension of this planet, but they see the strength of the field, we are clusters of stars. The human race, every single soul, no one from a distance sees that's the soul of a fisherman, that's the soul of the cosmologist, that's the soul of the president. They all shine irrespective of the physicality. This is the magic. This is what the new science has to bring to man. When we look to our soul, we see nothing but a star in the other souls. And this is the break. This is the understanding. This is what all these teachings are about. Coming to mature to the next level, to understand in the deep space, the universe is the oyster for those souls who serve. Then man is ready to go into space. Then man is ready to become part of the universal community which has been promised. I never promised you heaven. I always promised you the elevation of the man to join the family. And now you have the key. It's you who has to open the door to understand, if I can raise the soul of these people or millions of other souls, that the physical life on this planet changes, then I'm worthy to be part of the universal community. To be there to serve, to expand, to be there, to be part, that in the cycle of life of universe, I become, in being part, I become part of the totality. When man reaches that point, a new dimension in the strength of the soul of the man will appear, which is beyond imagination of understanding of the physical life. It's the gate to the opening of the new life, in a new dimension, which is beyond imagination of what you might call a new beginning, a new cycle, which that cycle carries with itself the origin of the creation of life in the universe and the universe. It's the elevation of the soul to serve become the key, not a throne of the physical life. The time is right. The time has come for the man to go through this process.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 412th One Planet, One Nation, One Race for Justice and World Peace here on Tuesday, January 6, 2026. This is a broadcast of the Keshe Foundation, Spaceship Institute, Education Department, and part of the Public Teachings in English. My name is Rick Crammond. I'll be your host once again in this weekly series of workshops ongoing for many years now. And once again, we have the opportunity of being joined with members and support members of the Universal Council who have put together today's workshop, and we'll be having a look at that now. And let me get that ready. At this moment, just bear with me a second or two, and here we are. And who will be beginning? I have possibly Mark or what's up? I don't have anybody for the beginning. Shweta?
I'll do it.
Moshfaq, go ahead, please. Thank you.
Okay, so welcome to the One Nation, One Nation, One Planet, One Race meeting. And today we are going to go a little bit into something a little more interesting than little more, not just a little more interesting, a little bit different, let's say. That is the game of peace and enlightenment. So this game of peace and enlightenment. So how can the Universal Council and the knowledge seekers and all of us can use this game to serve our purpose? We may want to put our thoughts and feelings into it. And maybe there is more to it than we initially thought about it. And as we become more used to the game, perhaps we have things that we can do with this game that is beyond what we see. Although it is a game, but the plasma units are connected to it. So is this a game or is it not? Something to think about, something to delve deep in. With that tantalizing introduction, let's move on. We'll go more into it for sure, but let's start with I think the next one, which is the
Yes, thank you, Boss. And welcome everyone to the network, if we could call it that, as Mosfeq was talking about, the network of peace and enlightenment, where you're in a way surrounded in this game that we're talking about, coincidentally or maybe not, named the game of peace and enlightenment, where you're surrounded by people who have the same ethos. And again, our World Peace Treaty, this is what the Keshe Foundation is not all about, but is certainly mainly focused on peace. And again, we see a structure of, or a struggle of peace within ourselves, and then we see a struggle for peace in the world and in the larger community. But it's for you to sort of analyze that. And of course, we went through the lessons of the Faravar with the backpacks and how we accumulate things, wrong things and good things. And of course, there's no punishment and there's no forgiveness. So we're just asking you to become aware of wanting to become more peaceful. I'm sure if we realize how peaceful the Creator is, we could see we're far from that sort of goal in a way, but we can achieve it. But it's for each one of us to sort of examine that within ourselves and then what we can do in the larger community. But the inner struggle, I think, is what this peace treaty is all about, because it's between you and your soul. I'll just read this part here. We as citizens of the earth from this moment on accept to lay down all tools of aggression and war. We shall never think about getting involved or incite war, or develop or use any tools of war on this planet or in space. And to this, we all agree and swear with our nation, our territory, our council, our religion, our city, our town, our body, and our soul. And when we think about war, perhaps we, since this is the time of the year when the three wise men appeared, we can take a little bit of a look at if we realize the three wise men's gifts were the thinking, speaking, and acting good. Perhaps we can break these three areas down, even though they are connected, but it's for you individually to approach this. And again, the thought world, I think we have many more thoughts than we have physical actions. And that's probably where it all starts, within the thoughts, as Mr. Keshe indicated. If you don't think wrong, then you don't speak wrong and you don't do wrong. And then we have this area of the words. Remember, the thoughts, the speaking, and the actions. And then we have the area of the words. And this is where, in the voice box, as I understand it, the soul of the man meets the soul of physicality, and some words come out. And sometimes good words come out, but we're thinking bad words. But because of the, you want to be proper and not really offend, again, you're creating those negative plasmas within you. Even though you may be speaking good words, your thoughts are maybe not so good. But it's for each one of us to address. And then, of course, we have the actions, which are probably the least amount. Even if you were busy 24 hours a day, you'll have many more thoughts than you would actual actions. Even if you're speaking, I think 24 hours a day, you'd still have many more thoughts than you would actual words coming out of your mouth. So these are the three areas. These are the three lines of shielding that you can employ around or deploy around yourself and improve it. And of course, as MOSFET was indicating, there's an entire game, and I believe this game has some hidden technologies in it. And there are things going on within the game, maybe not so much in the beta, but I do believe it can be in the beta as well. Actually, things going on in the background and hidden technologies, because it's your wish to be peaceful, you will achieve that. But as we know, it's a slow process, but certainly it'll be more popularized as we move forward into this period, in this transition period, and probably the knowledge seekers will transition a little bit sooner than the others, perhaps, but again, to stay humble in this whole process. So we do have an actual paper agreement that you can sign. I think it's a reactor in a way. Rick has shown this. It's called the World Peace Treaty, where you can actually, if you need a paper to sign, you can actually fill it out and post it, and it becomes a display and something the others can see, to know your ethos to yourself and to fellow men and the mankind and all the created beings in the universe. Rick, I don't know if you have that, but here it is. You can find it on any search engine and you can display it. Perhaps display it in your own home. I know it's very important for the home to be peaceful, but you can, again, just put this up, or not even put this up. As we know, you can sign it not only with the pen, but you can just sign it with the pen of your soul, that you agree. And again, this idea of all tools of aggression and war, this is where it's happening, in the thoughts and in the words and in the actions. But I think if we can individually take a look at these for ourselves and see how we can sort of balance it. I know the sun has to balance itself. It goes millions of miles in each direction to keep the universe sort of in balance itself. So again, we won't remain fully peaceful, but we'll have to handle situations that come up and again, sort of rebalance. And this is something we need to understand, each one of us, and apply it to ourselves, and the others will see the peaceful. Maybe they won't see your thoughts, but they'll certainly hear your words and see your actions. So again, this is what all of the technology in the Keshe Foundation is, to bring peace and balance, but that's not the final. That's just the next step into getting into a more deeper relationship, let's say, with the universal community, even though it's probably deeper than we've already imagined. As we've seen, we've been part of a much larger structure. So again, welcome to the world of peace and enlightenment. And of course, the network is just being set up for that. And it has many, many things which will be added on, and beautiful technologies hidden within it that will actually enhance the entire process. So thank you. If anyone else would like to add something to the World Peace Treaty, but this is part of the ethos of the, remember, we're introducing a new science, a new ethos, and a new language. It'll be the language of peace and sharing, and that's what's happened in the game. I'm in it now. I was wondering, if Rick, if there was a way to mute your audio in the game, because sometimes perhaps it may interfere if you have the game running in the background. But I do have it running in the background. And in that game, you're going to start to understand about economies and about sharing. As I just had that experience of sharing some plasmas with another player, they called it a ritual circle. I hadn't been in that before, but again, there's many aspects, and I think the owners, or the manual, is being written as sort of we go, as the one of the developers said, if he would get to it as soon as he can get 30 hours in the day. So we give stamina to those people who are developing this game, and it's all, again, focused on becoming more peaceful and more enlightened. I think it'll be pleasurable, won't it, to be around peaceful people and enlightened people. As we say, the more enlightened you are, the more peaceful you should see yourself or become. So just a little test for you to apply as you see it. Again, how it fits you. And there goes somebody's game who may have.
Yeah, I just wanted to, I thought I'd briefly show what the game looks like here. And of course, it made a squealing noise when I started it up, when things are happening.
Okay.
But basically, this is what it looks like. You have a world map, and there's many icons on it with people chasing various things and accumulating points according to different categories, such as enlightenment and knowledge and energy and consciousness. How many games do you get points in consciousness and enlightenment and knowledge? It's rare, and it's a beautiful game. There's a lot to it, and we're just kind of scratching the surface at this point with this beta version of the game. But it functions very well, and it's smooth, and it's very easy to operate, and it works well on both an iPad and a desktop. And I'm very surprised how quickly and easily you can get into the game from any server, wherever you are, basically.
As was indicated, children to grandmothers can play this game. And we know there's this is only the beta version of it. It will change after March, I think 21st, perhaps. We'll have to see how the development goes. I noticed you have quite a few of the treasure chests, Rick. Those are those little jars there that people can claim, and they can add secret roles and other things, and perhaps even plasmas. And then you can transmute using a plasma. One of the things that I noticed, again, I felt peaceful playing the game as well. It's teaching me the world map and different places and locations. And I think, and just again, this is just what I was thinking, Rick. Let's say I go to Mexico, and once the cosmic ray antennas added into the One Nation network, now you're in the energy dimension. So I go to Mexico and I'd like to order a taco or a burrito. I have some Keshe coins in my wallet. And so I'm in Mexico. I'm playing the game. I'm really in my kitchen table, let's say, or wherever you may play it. But I decide my physicality is hungry while I'm playing the game. So I decide I'd like to have a real burrito made in Mexico, or something else, a taco. So I take a couple pennies out of my wallet and I order 2 tacos. And I don't actually get the physical tacos. I actually get the energy of those tacos, which will be applied in the game through the cosmic rays. It was just something I was thinking. And then maybe you have a headache, or your wife has a headache and you'd like some aspirin. You don't physically get the aspirin, but you can order it through the energy dimension. And I think this is all being staged to make us quite comfortable. And some of the spellings of the names, the Seychelles and other places that I've been to, it's quite interesting, and it makes you rather comfortable operating on the planet. And perhaps this is the first place we'll start the actual physical transmutations. Or perhaps it'll be in that real dream dimension of what Mr. Keshe is calling it, in a way. Again, through the gravitational magnetic fields right between your ears, that you may be walking in Mexico City and for a minute or two even see a glimpse of the city as if it were a real dream, or it is a real dream. So just some thoughts that I had, and I think the game is beautiful, and we give extra stamina to those who are monitoring and developing it, because there's still much, much more to come and to perfect within this game. But that's what the beta is all about, correct, Rick? Maybe you want to demonstrate it. Again, this will bring peace into your home as well.
Sure. Like, for example, perhaps I would like to click on one of these icons. I look for the treasure chests that look like the little hamburgers here.
How can you miss them? You must have 20 of them.
Well, I went on, I had a dearth of, I was down in my energy. I couldn't get any of the plasma and so on for a while. And then suddenly I went on a run and picked up a few, and then picked up some more. And then if you keep hitting the treasure chests, like for example, I'll go to this one here, and I'll try, this is Vatican City.
Okay, now there's different ways to travel, Rick. I noticed you have enough plasmas. It takes 1 to transmute, and it takes 15% of your energy to fly a plane or to get on a plane. Which method are you going to choose?
Well, I'm choosing transmutation because I've got lots of it right now, and it only takes 1 per time. And I don't have much energy. I'm trying to go around and accumulate energy because I used up too much and realized that I could easily run out of energy, and then you have to wait, and your energy gradually builds up, but it's a waiting time then, and that slows the whole game down.
And so at some point I was reading,
there's that lovely sound. That means you've landed.
Your energy is your stamina. In this
yes, I guess that's the word for it. Yes. So I have landed in Vatican City, and when I click on the icon of the treasure chest, I get a reward of secret rolls and cash coins. I okay that, and it gets added to my amount of cash coins and secret rolls. And I continue clicking, and I have some of the magic elixir that I get, and that completes that part of the roll. Now, when you start out, none of these countries are in color, and you have to click on them to get them to highlight their color, and you have to land on them and stay there for a couple of minutes in order to secure your color for the country. And you can do that twice in this game, so you can land on the country twice to get 2 notices of landing there. Well, there's a lot of ins and outs to it, and we don't really have time to go through all the rules of the game now, but just wanted to give you an idea what it looks like.
Yes.
Some of a taste of what it's like to kind of play.
And I have some sort of suspicion that there's hidden technologies embedded within this game, as most of the devices of the Keshe Foundation have. So enjoy
Yes.
the world of peace and enlightenment if that's your wish.
And we'll find out a little more in this workshop later when Mr. Keshe explains some of the peace and enlightenment emotion that's being put into the game now that it's set up and people are working with it. So yeah, it's very interesting, and there's a lot of connections. There's a connection to your wallet with Keshe coins and with money from outside, and there's in-game money and outside and so on. And there's a lot of ins and outs to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand it's available in many languages now as well. There's some listed here, but I think there's more coming.
Mm-hmm. And as the beta test, anything you gain in the physicality within this game, the coins or whatever, will all be reset. I think Mr. Keshe mentioned that you'll lose your physicality when the new version comes in, or the official version, but your soul will remain. I think that's what he was saying. This is not going to carry over into the official game. This is just the beta working of it.
I guess, how can I update the beta version to the latest version? I believe that's every time you come back in with your browser. Every time you open your browser, I think it resets. That's the way it goes. But
now, if I look at
beta, just to say, the beta number down the lower right corner is not changing. There's a note in the chat that someone has put in that to update the game version, you only have to reload the page. The number beta 0.644 is just not updated by the programmer. So programmer's busy and hasn't updated the beta number yet, but the game is getting updated regularly.
Right, and there's these energy drinks, and I looked at the United States there, Rick, and that's where you have a treasure chest on your map, but on my map, it only shows a small energy drink available to me if I go to the United States. But Rick has a treasure chest. Is that to entice you to go to the United States, or what is that?
Well, that seems strange that they would be different. I don't. What about other icons? Say Mexico. Do you have a?
Let me check. I have it running on the Telegram in the background. No, in Mexico, I just have one energy drink, one small energy drink available to me if I were to travel there to retrieve it.
I thought it was the same map for everyone, because people are stealing things from me sometimes before I get there and vice versa.
I know I had claimed a treasure chest, and when I clicked on it, it said it had already been claimed.
Yeah, I think that's not necessarily someone else claiming it. I think that's just the kind of a glitch in the game. Sometimes others can be there and claim it, and it disappears before you get to click on it.
And remember, we were talking about position, place, time, and the rest. Well, this enlightenment, this consciousness, this energy are all going to be factors that we're just learning. It will then apply to you actually applying a transmutation perhaps in the future. A slow process of learning some of these features of our own structure.
Yeah, everyone learns and plays differently as well, and some people will be more in certain categories than others, and so on and so forth. And there's a bit of competition going on with the top players from each country are noted, and so on. But it's very interesting because it is the world map, and you get to, like Mark mentioned, you get to visit all the countries.
Comfortable.
In a way, it feels like you're there. you see their flag right off the bat, and you see their location. And for me, I thought I knew where most of the countries of the world were.
I did too.
But I was surprised, where is some of the more obvious ones? If it was a blank map, could I put in the names? I wouldn't get very many, actually, accurately. So even though I thought I knew many of them. So it helps to reinforce that feeling of brotherly love for our planet, people and nations of our planet. So interesting that way. I wonder when we become masters of the Earth here, do we then get to leave the Earth and go into space?
Yeah, this may have another version of the solar system, perhaps.
Yes, and beyond.
Yeah, you can see the
Become a master of the universe and then a master of the unicos. Wow. Got a lot of work ahead of us. So I recommend everyone get Plasma. That's the actual name of the site. And let me just put in the links here.
And Rick, you were talking, and I was speaking about coins or whatever. Mr. Keshe encouraged us not to play for money, although there is a financial incentive built within the game after the official version comes out, where one can earn up to 2 Keshe coins per month, internal to the Keshe Foundation, of course, which can be used probably for reasons we're not fully aware of at this point in time. So this will be embedded into what we're calling the One Nation Network, the ONN network. And as I said, I think if you, burned your finger in Mexico, you may be able to add some plasmatic relief through the cosmic ray antennas, which will be added to the game in the future. This will bring in the energy dimension into this game.
Yeah, that's a beautiful idea, Mark. And of course, that's what Mr. Keshe has in mind. It's not about ordering a pizza to be delivered to your door. It's about the essence of the pizza being delivered to your mind, in a way, to your emotions, direct. And it's faster than pizza to your door. Even with drone delivery, it won't be as fast as this setup. So,
and it probably has the ethos of the universe as well built in, because this is what Mr. Keshe is saying, that there's some etiquette we have to learn about behavior in that universe or in that energy dimension, that this game will probably help us to reach a better level.
Well, I found that out by sometimes when you claim something, especially if you're in transmutation mode, you might sort of pick it up right when someone else is on their way to pick it up in their regular airplane travel mode. And that's much slower. It can take half a minute to get there. So with transmutation, you can kind of sneak in and steal something from someone that's already planning on picking it up. And that can be unnerving to someone that doesn't have very many points or energy. And they need that one trip to continue their energy and match it up from them. That's not very nice. I've had to cut myself off a couple times from grabbing things because someone else was on their way there and they decided to just leave it. There's other ones to find, so it's not like you don't have to be greedy in this game. It's just is to be approached with a fun attitude, not you can be sort of competitive in a way, but I think we'll learn it's better to be cooperative in the end than competitive.
Cooperative and collaborative, yes, I think is part of the ethos of the game.
And especially as it gets developed out and we learn more about it and play it more and so on. I wonder if there's different realms where, like, maybe you're in one realm and I'm in a different realm. and we see different images, because otherwise maybe it would be too many people playing at once, which makes it difficult to play and get things because it's so crowded. It's already getting quite crowded with the new people and so on.
And you see, Rick has a pop-out menu from the left side, and there's one from the right side. And maybe just to be familiar, there's a manual in there which gives you a general overview, which you may read and start to learn how to play the game. I wasn't aware. I was always using my energy to travel, that energy bar you have over there. Every time you travel somewhere, it goes to down 15%. And then somebody told me, well, gee, you have a lot of plasmas. You can use, I didn't realize, I thought the transmutation was for advanced play. But Rick has 60 or whatever the number is there,
On
plasma.
there.
Right.
Yeah.
And each one can take you to a different location. You only
Yeah.
expend one of those.
Yeah, it's a great way to go for sure. And you can see you can advance a lot quicker with lots of plasma. So
It's instantaneous arrival.
it's just tricky because you can run out of energy if you just are going from one treasure chest to the next. So you have to pick up energy along the way too, and that makes it more complex. And you have to balance things, and it's quite a mental game in a way. It's intellectually challenging to balance out what you need next and so on, especially if you're just getting used to playing it. But it's delightful in many ways.
Yeah, and I have a strong suspicion that this is part of teaching you this process of traveling as well, and the ethos that goes with it. As we get into the game, we'll find out more. But this is part of embedding, I think, within you this understanding that we can move instantaneously across this planet. And that will come probably with the energy dimension of the game, which will be introduced in the next period, I believe.
Ike is saying, is your beta the current version of, as I mentioned, you can check the chat in the game, and it explains that the number beta 0.644 is just not updated by the programmer. So, and to update, you simply reload the page, and that's automatically updated. As far as the background, I chose the white background instead of black, I think, I believe that's in settings.
And if someone was interested, Rick, in
Right here,
expanding.
there it is, the world map theme. You can change it from dark to light. I found it easier with light than dark.
And if someone was interested in helping expand the game or proofing the game or trying to be an ethical hacker or a monitor of the game, where would they contact the foundation, Rick? I know Mr. Keshe was asking for that. info@keshe.foundation, perhaps?
I would assume so, yes. Yeah. And there's also a new manual that's being produced, that has been produced, that will make it available. I'll post it in the chats and whatnot, so we'll have that available.
So we thought it was only through the parents of the children that they would understand, if at all, peace and enlightenment. But now, Mom and Dad, you have a new way to help your children understand this game of peace and enlightenment, because apparently it's played across the universe.
Well, certainly children can play this. If they can play Mario, then they can play this. And it's similar in many ways, actually. It's similar to many of the gaming platforms, but it's so far a two-dimensional kind of space. But
and they may have some provocative questions for their parents as well. Gee, Dad, what's enlightenment?
Yes.
Or explain me a little bit more about my consciousness. What's that? Okay.
And
Rick,
yeah,
go to the 3D screen if you want. There is a
pardon me.
3D, there is a 3D version of the game, right?
Oh yeah,
Now,
on the right side, Rick. Yeah, he's got it.
I haven't actually gone into that, but well, it's 3D, but I mean, it's still it's like a two-dimensional surface that you're.
yeah, we need to have hologram before we do the 3D, but you
Well,
know,
I meant
now,
more like when you go to a place, you would have an image of the actual place, perhaps, and you could move around in that as an actual 3D game environment. And I wonder if it might get to that at some point. We don't really need it in a way in this game, but maybe that will be maybe when you get together with people, it'll look like a three-dimensional structure of some sort, a building or a field or something where a place where people gather rather than just a point on your screen.
actually there is a Chinese company that is actually talking about, you know, making a hologram on top of the phone. And I'm not,
Oh yeah,
you know, yes.
nice. Yeah.
So you know, it's not that far away, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And what Rick said about developing perhaps the next step of including the solar system in this, I know Mr. Keshe said you wanted to have coffee on Mars. Maybe Rick and I can meet for coffee. Once this antenna, this cosmic ray antenna, we may actually have that virtual experience or real dream of being together on Mars, having coffee, or something like that. I can see this has a great future potential.
Wait till we start playing the game in our dreams.
Mhm.
And we're in big trouble.
As we all know, Mr. Keshe is just not releasing a standard type of game. There's many hidden technologies and other technologies that are going to be added into this that we're not even aware of. This is just my thinking. I just want to be impartial.
Okay, well, we probably should get back to the main gist of the workshop here, and we'll be picking up some more hints on the game as we look at some of the videos and so on in the presentation. So let's just tempt people a bit with this, and we got a bit carried away, which is easy to do with this game. It's easy to get kind of addicted to it,
So
actually.
this will start whetting in a way the appetite of humanity to achieve a peace and enlightenment, I think.
Yes, exactly.
Are the wishes next, or would anyone else like to
The
see?
wishes are next. So I'll remind people that when the wishes are voiced, then we'll have a full minute of silence after each wish to reflect upon and implement the wish.
We, the Universal Council, give from our soul to elevate the soul of sovereign nations so that they live in peace and equal and as equals.
We, the Universal Council, wish one universe, one race, in total peace.
We elevate the souls of all members in the past, present, and future of the Universal Council as one soul, as part of the totality of the knowledge of creation. Our wish is our command. We are present.
We, the Universal Council, wish for a spark of unity like one soul to spread throughout the world and beyond 2026, achieving everlasting peace worldwide for all of us.
We, the Universal Council, make condition for all the structure around KF to be supporting financially and to have what they need at the point of need to bring a total change.
We, the Universal Council, give at our souls to all souls and existence congratulations in this communication with the universal community, elevated the path of peace, beauty, and totality. Our wish is our comment.
We, the Universal Council, give from our field strength to empower the world leaders to negotiate and sign the World Peace Treaty, pledging their nations to a permanent and everlasting peace on this planet. Our wish is our command. We are present. Thank you. Thank you so much, my dear. Thank you. Beautiful soul. Um, as we say always, um, can you hear me properly? I mean, hello?
So a little weak, but we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, okay. Sorry, I apologize for the internet. Thank you. And here, join the soul of man with the soul of physicality by speaking these words in this moment. I love you, my soul. I live with you. I love with you. And I adore you. See what the soul will give back to you. And the soul says, I love you, my dear, so, so much. So I will say, and I say to the soul, my soul, my dear one, I know now, because of you, the whole cosmos is my home, my temple, our temple. We have to behave. I understand how much you love me, and the fire of love has lit it in this home, in this temple, in this cosmos. So we are together now. We all are together, walking beside, walking and saying each other. Now it's time to take care of all that is needed. All the love, always. Thank you so much. And being love always, my dear. Feel the love, understand the love. So, and it will make more easy day by day to follow, to be in the ethos of future. So, thank you so, so much. Now, we have to communicate. We are always communicating. So, elevating the souls, and as we say that this is the key. As we know, elevating the soul makes massive difference. Most of the differences, as we are manifesting, we are seeing with our own eyes. So the play, the
And
game of the
just to add to
yes.
that last slide, Shweta, I remember Mr. Keshe saying your true children come out of your soul in the future time. Then we heard how it's an art of raising children, and we should pray for our children in the physicality as we're going through that process. But perhaps we can also pray for those future children that come out of our soul. Not that we have to train them or anything, but we just give to them. I was just thinking that. I don't know if to me, that's appropriate.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful, my dear Mark. Really, really. This is what we should do, for the future children, because they need this, the future of the children we create now. We understand now, I have been this emotion of the whole world, uh, like drinking the milk out of me, like, a milk, a pure version of elixir, Amrita, as you said, the blessings to the children, the need of the children of the future. And they are there if they need us. So, as we all know, so we are working on it as a mother, as a father, as a parent, as we have done in this physicality too. So, thank you, my dear. Thank you for this elevation, always, my dear. So, I will say, take care. What is needed. Thank you. And now we have this soul connection, as we are always connected wherever you are, my dear beautiful soul. As Mark said, you are a housewife, you are a hiker, you are a player, you are a whatever, you are a lover, everything, everybody is involved in this communication, as we are never separate. We just forgotten that name, the eons we forgotten each other. So get ready to elevate, to understand, to communicate in the words of love that doesn't need words. So I'll say I will do this soul communication in Bangla, my mother tongue, and I will start. Silence will be for 2 minutes, and I will say we have to concentrate or uh, focus on our breathing. Take the breathing in, take breathing out, like the prana we are, like the jivatma, the living being we are. We have to be like that. And here we say the timeless teacher. When you breathe in as a timeless teacher, you become a giver, and you breathe out all the life that is needed all over. So I will say here in India we say Shastra study. So I will start in Bengali, Bangla language. সবাইকে আমি হৃদয় দিয়ে অভিনন্দন জানাই, সবাইকে অনেক অনেক ভালোবাসা দিই, শুভকামনা দিই এই শুভ সময় থাকার জন্য এখানে সবাই একজুট হয়ে একমত হয়ে আর সবাই ভালোবাসা, শান্তি আর সম্পদা নিয়ে এখানে বসার জন্য। আর আমি আপনাদের এটাই আগ্রহ করব কি আপনারা সবাই নিজের শ্বাসের উপর একটা শাশ্বত ভাবে ধ্যান দিয়ে শ্বাসটা ভেতরে নেবেন, শুধু শ্বাসের উপর ফোকাস করবেন, কেন কি সেটাই আমরা ইউনিভার্সে ব্রহ্মাণ্ডে শাশ্বত মনে করে। তো সেটাকে সেইভাবেই আপনি শ্বাসটা আস্তে করে ওটাকে মেহসুস করবেন, ওটাকে ফিল করবেন, শ্বাসটা আস্তে করে ভেতরে নেবেন, আস্তে করে ছাড়বেন। সেটাই হচ্ছে আপনার দেওয়া আর নেওয়া একরকমের শাশ্বত ভাবে। তো এই জন্যে আমরা নিজেদের শাশ্বত স্বরূপকে ডাকি, আহ্বান করি, আর যেটাকে ইংরেজিতে বলে টাইমলেস ফিউচার, যেটা জন্য সময় কোনো মাইনে রাখে না। তো এই ধ্যানটা আমরা সব পৃথিবীর প্রত্যেকটা জীবাত্মার জন্য করছি, পশু পাখি পোকা সাপ কোপ গাছপালা সবাই জন্য, পুরো ব্রহ্মাণ্ডের জন্য করছি, পৃথিবী নিয়ে ময় হয়ে করছি। তো আমরা আজকের এই সোল আত্মার উন্নয়নের এটা আহ, আহ, আত্মার উন্নয়নটা শুরু করি। আপনারা সবাই ধ্যান দেবেন শ্বাসের দিকে, শ্বাসটা আসছে, শ্বাসটা যাচ্ছে, আর এটা শুধু 2 মিনিটের জন্য থাকবে, আর এটাই সুন্দরতা এটা। ঠিক আছে, তাহলে আজকে আহ আহ আত্মার উন্নয়নটা আরম্ভ হলো। সবাইকে আবার হৃদয় দিয়ে ধন্যবাদ জানাই এখানে আসার জন্য, আর সবাইকে শাশ্বত প্রণাম করি, আর সবাইকে আমি আসসালামু আলাইকুম বলি, নমস্কার বলি, শুকরিয়া বলি, ধন্যবাদ এখানে থাকার জন্য, সবাই ভালোবাসা সুখ সম্পদা নিয়ে। আর then thank you for being here, beautiful soul, with your timeless self. Thank you for being, I will say, for peace, love, beauty, and totality, my dear beautiful soul. And Om Shanti, 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 Om. Assalamu alaikum, Shashwata Pranam, Dhanyabad, and Shukriya. Thank you so much.
So, hello again and Happy New Year to all of you. So we, the Universal Council, invite the Keshe and Universal family present at the Earth to unify at the soul level every time, every day at 9 p.m. CET. Give from our field strength to enlighten the soul of world leaders, to negotiate and sign the World Peace Treaty. pledging their nation to a permanent and everlasting peace on this planet. This is our wish, and our wish is our command.
Thank you, Marinez. And now we'll have an excerpt from the 576 Knowledge Seekers Workshop. And it's Mr. Keshe inviting people to become a member and support member of the Universal Council. So it's just a couple minute short video, and I'll play that now.
There's something which I should have made announcement. As we are structuring and in a new development of the Keshe Foundation is worldwide application and implication. As we set up the structure for Universal Council, a number of Universal Council members have become old and they reach the age of 60 and they serve during the 60 years they are there till 61. To run the functionality of the operation of the what we call energy dimension, the Universal Council members, if you want to become, please consider and let your soul decide of any languages around the world, as these will be announced very soon internationally, and we expect the souls to serve. And if it's from the knowledge seekers who understand the technology with dimension of the soul, you can apply to be added to and become a member of the Universal Council. The Earth Council is appointed by the Keshe Foundation on the grounds of two structure of the nationality. Understanding the culture that there is no prejudice by physical dimension of the borders. And so if you feel your soul is there to serve humanity in expansion and the growth of it, just apply for it at the Keshe Foundation or send the email to info@keshe.foundation, say I would like to be a member of the Universal Council. We receive this regularly, and now we're going to expand this very rapidly due to what is to come and what is to be done. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Michael. I also want to add that please, from wherever you are, please join Keshe Foundation, Spaceship Institute organization as Universal Council and Universal Council support members. And of course, I will say that this is a call, and because this time, because my dear. Thank you so much. Salam, namaste, salam.
Okay, I've got another video from the 623rd Knowledge Seekers Workshop regarding understanding the work of the Universal Council. I'll share that now.
The Americans, the British, the Iranians, the Chinese, all played with the matter state. And now that the harsh time will come, especially for the West, there is no better opportunity than the man to show the power of the energy of that matter. The evolution in the science in 2026 will come when the man accepts the trinity of the matter and energy. And nobody has served us better than the Chinese government. Where
They have spent billions controlling all the rare earth materials. They got stuck, like the rest of humanity, with the matter state, not understanding a monster amongst you knowledge seekers known as the energy of the matter will rise. This is why we brought the Keshe coin. This is why we set up, as you heard, the structure of the Universal Council. Starting from today, you will see the nations of the West will get around the Keshe technology because they need the material. We showed it nowhere else publicly except, especially in China, May of the last year. Conversion of energy to mass. Confirmation and rejection of the wave theory, and bringing the knowledge of the man to existence, where the field of the universe create the matter, and where man got stuck with that matter and he forgot about the wave. And in conversion and creation, we use that wave to create more matter without relying on the other side. In a way, the theory of what we call the funny thing, which when one moves, the other side moves. Now the matter state is so heavily will burden on the Chinese nation that the West will move forward by leaps of hundreds of years in the next decade or so. As gradually they understand China is lumbered with one of the heaviest that's ever could imagine by man, where in the coming time you produce materials as you need, because we have shown it, laboratory test 2 years ago shown it, and then it comes the medicine, the food and agriculture and everything else which made man in prison, locked to the matter state, where we will see the changes, where the man of science will gather in understanding, worshipping every single one of your knowledge seekers that you said something we didn't understand. This doesn't come out of what we call randomness. This comes out of organization, understanding. And in that point where the dollar is breaking down, yuan breaking down, stays, the world will look for a stable currency that everybody can be without losing. And this is why the Keshe coin stuck its head out last week, and we brought it in as a game. Many of you bought those systems on an ends to be controlled, create an independent operation of financial organization in the background that does not matter where you live, we're all the same. Fulfillment of the prophecies of the past. One day mankind will move, and that move to understand the process of the interaction of the fields is of now. We will change in governments. We will see massive changes in the knowledge as the governments have thousands of factories and no goods, and then they need to feed these goods to be able to keep the factories going, paying the economies, and moving on. And there is no alternative left but man to understand, out of desperation, the other side of the science which man has denied, ignored, and always laughed at too. Those of you who call you crazy, you believe in Keshe, he's a fraud and everything else, they will kiss your hand. They worship you as they understood before they did. As they see how the knowledge of the energy, magnetic field, emotion, will change their life in the West, brings humbleness and equality to Chinese, and at the same time, arrogance of making metals to kill each other will be buried in the history of mankind. It's time for the knowledge of the creation and the name of blah, 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 Keshe Foundation, and any other name of GANs and whatever to shine. For your knowledge seekers, understand that your job has started. For those of you who are members of Universal Council, your line is drawn. Those of you who want to become members of Universal Council, look within your soul and see if you understand the need, the love of the man for the whole universe and not for one nation, one blood, and one direction. Those of you who become the Universal Council members will have your line connected to the soul of the Creator if you understood the explanation of the beginning. You don't need the sun, as you shine the same as it does in the heart of the Creator. One day you'll understand, and one day mankind will move on. And the change out of the desperation of the losing jobs and factories closing down will bring the governments of Germany, Japan, South Korea, and every other country to worship the knowledge of the energy in motion, what you call magnetic fields. The part we don't. As I said to the guy, being a scientist this week, I said, I give you a magnet. It's no difference than an atom in your body. No difference than the electron and the proton. They all create magnetic fields and in interaction with each other confirm their existence as a matter state in the condition that creates you and what you believe in.
Okay, again, that's an excerpt from the 623rd Knowledge Seekers Workshop. Okay, I don't think we properly did the invitation here. Shweta, would you like to do that?
We invite you to connect with a member of the Universal Council to send us your questions to be answered live each week and or the needs of your communities. Thank you for joining us as one soul.
Thank you,
Okay.
Mehran. I'm sorry. I apologize, my dear. I was talking with a microphone muted. I'm so sorry. And of course, Mehran, as you said, that here everything is in the newness, in the process, and the new will be very good, very beautiful. And I will say that, please, as we are all learning, beautiful souls, we are all learning. So there should be an interaction if you want, if you desire, if we all desire that. You can connect with, we can connect to each other, teaching each other, giving knowledge to each other, discussing, sharing love. You can do that in, everybody can do that in the different language telegram of Keshe Foundation, Spaceship Institute organization, my dear beautiful souls. You can join if you are not joined still, but you can have your interaction, any type of interaction, my dear beautiful souls, in the chat, in the telegram chat. So you are so much welcome. Welcome to Keshe Foundation, Spaceship Institute organization. Thank you so much. And salam, namaste, salute. Thank you.
Oh, sorry, I had my mic off here. Now we have the knowledge and understanding from the 623rd Knowledge Seekers Workshop with Mark and Marinez. I'll play our background music here and video to go with that.
I think we heard a good part of it in the excerpt you played, Rick, but I'll just mention Mr. Keshe's request for more help with the Keshe Foundation in any shape, form, or any way you can assist in the Keshe Foundation. And there's a lot of different ways to participate. So I'll just mention that as a part of this last workshop, that we need huge financial support to continue the work. So if you can reach into the pocket or any other way you can support the Keshe Foundation, please feel free to do so. And of course, we heard more about the UBSOS and then an amazing announcement about a car, perhaps a new car that will be introduced, not in the coming, well, yes, in the coming period, but perhaps by the in 26 or perhaps in 27, a whole new type of transportation, perhaps. And maybe this will twin into what Elon Musk was announcing on April 1st. We'll have to see. I have a feeling, in a way, that the two could be connected, but we'll have to see. But many beautiful things. As he said, they thank China for cornering the rare earth from the copper to the zinc to the silver and the rest. But this will play right into the West waking up to this idea of the matter and the energy being pretty much the same. Both have mass. The matter just has the inertia added to it. So this will be the awakening of the twinity of the matter and energy. Again, very interesting that man will move away from the matter state and start to acknowledge the energy dimension. And this is what Mr. Keshe said. We're opening up that mystery of the matter state of the entity to its energies. So a lot of beautiful things, as he again emphasized. We only know a tiny fraction of what's going on in the background of the Keshe Foundation, but we're here to support and announce it, and again, bring it forward in whatever way, shape, and form you want to participate in this process. Anyone else want to add anything? And there's much more, of course. I've only just scratched the surface.
Yes, thank you very much. Well, what I understood also, but first of all, Happy New Year for everybody. I wish this is a year full of laughter and joy and prosperity and health for everybody, and peace, for which absolutely it will come. But as Mr. K says, maybe there are highs and high and low, but we continue, and we are very glad that we are in this game. So in this short knowledge seeker workshop, also Mr. K said that one day the West, the Europeans wake up and they see that they have put so much effort for matter and all the matters which exist on Earth actually, and they don't have access, and they didn't go after energy, which comes after matter. In fact, he says that the next game, which already we have seen the exposition in China, that how with fields and with the cosmic fields we can create matters as we wish. And before that, in the mountains of China with the militaries, they created gold. So that's the future of humanity, to use the magnetic field in motion and create energy to use it for food, agriculture, medicine, transport, and everything else. And one day the man comes to this science not by love, but by fear of not having enough, by fear of not knowing how to do the winter without the material ways that he was using already. So that's the future of the man. And we knowledge seeker who have used gases, who have done the 5 cups, 4 cups, 2 cups, things like that. And we saw the effect of the magnetic fields. We are going to be appreciated for what we started. And even though some people were not believing in this because there was no peer review for what he was offering. So he is steadfast, patient in what he is doing. He's doing it and he will do it. And we do it with him. And we would be helpful for bettering the life of humanity in future. And we learn it, we teach it, and the humanity tries to develop it the way they profit from it. So I thank everybody who does something in this game. We all benefit from it together. Thank you.
Okay. I will add a few things to what Mark and Mehnaz was speaking about. The global situation, as we are all noticing, is in a bit of a chaos. And man's greed for material things have blinded us about not just well-being of the collective that we call human beings, but others as well. And this is leading all the countries towards an economic chaos, as Mr. Keshe indicated in workshop last time. And this situation, it is going to be a bit difficult for many of us, as some will lose jobs, some will have difficulty meeting their needs, and their uncertainty is already visible. So, and sort of out of uncertainty, because of this uncertainty, desperation is taking root as well. So, as Mr. Keshe has said, people will come to plasma technology not for the love of it, but for the fear of their own demise. And so this uncertainty is pushing us means the planetary condition towards this situation where things are uncertain and desperation is around the corner, sort of situation. So the one of the interesting things is that if people are satisfied about whatever they have or whatever course they're taking, it's very difficult for them to take a new direction. We have noticed this even in Keshe Foundation. You know, Mr. Keshe was using gas reactors at the beginning, and then he moved to the nanomaterial. You know, people left. Same thing happened with GANs, and you know, then fields and SOL, and all of these. You know, in each stage, there was a sort of pruning happening because people got used to or attached to the latest thing that was available from Keshe Foundation. So this attachment, whether it's the material, whether it's material object or even ideas, it takes a bit of effort to move to a new direction, a new learning experience. Attachment is convenient. There's no need to learn. I know everything. Kind of, you know, as you would experience while talking about plasma technology with, you know, the people who have been educated in the current system. There is a bit of arrogance associated with it. So once, you know, out of desperation, a humility, it creates a condition for humility to take root. And so hopefully the time for plasma technology is arriving. Yes, it might be difficult, but sometimes difficulty pushes us towards a new horizon. Thank you very much.
Any other comments about the 623rd, or shall I move on to Mr. Keshe's description from the 623rd? Let's do that. Got an excerpt. It's about a 20-minute excerpt. Just get it ready here. And I'm told to play, to show the game during this description from Mr. Keshe, as our background is not so great, so just get things lined up here.
I don't know, Rick. Maybe you skip because you are married in the first part. You explain many things about that. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I don't know neither. So.
And many more in the reactor group, as Rick has alluded to.
Sorry, what was said there, Mark?
No, you said we'd open it up more in the reactor group as well. So Elizabeth is saying that maybe we can skip this part since we're
okay.
early in the session.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. I had a little work about the when Mr. Keshe explained in the last workshop about you have one big sun inside you. And Mr. Keshe, when you remember it, you have, I think is the explanation. When you understand you have that big sun, you decide expand to the other. Do you decide give to the others from you? And of course, when you connected to the others, is for that reason, Mr. Keshe all the time explained, you are as one, because connected. You zone to the other zone, all zones around you. Of course, you connected, but the big zone protect to the earth. And when you understand that you have that zone inside you, you all the time, you observe your behavior. And you use the gift given to you from, like today, 3 wise men, and speak, do, and think good, think, speak, and do good. All the time, you connected to the other. Of course, you connected a big zone around the world. And of course, you connected your big zone are to the universal community too. That invitation is the present year. Is the year of the peace, the start the peace, peaceful condition for the world, to the all beings of the earth. It's time for all we remember it and connected with the sun inside us. Thank you so much, and happy, very special, excellent year of the peace. Thank you, thank you.
Well, I believe that brings us to time for transmutation with Mashfek.
Hello, everyone. This is Mosfek again. So today, let's look at transmutation in the game. The game that we have, the game of peace and enlightenment. So this is a very interesting avenue for us. In this game, we are getting familiar with the countries on this planet. And okay, somebody's playing the game in the background. I guess.
Just getting the screen ready for you, and it screamed.
Wonderful. So in this game, so we are becoming familiar with the planet. Yes, we know some of the countries, but in this case, we are going to many of the places, getting familiar with the flags and country names, even the small ones. The bigger countries or more high-profile countries are not necessarily the bigger player here. It's all the same. I mean, all the countries are equally participating in the game. Now, yeah, there is sound effect today with transmutation, so this is fun. So the interesting thing about this is that being familiar with it is a good beginning. Now, let's take a current situation, let's say involving, let's say, Venezuela and the United States, or Ukraine and Russia. We can focus on these countries. What do you mean? What do I mean by focus? Earlier you heard that plasma devices will be connected to these games. Better yet, we, the plasma device, the humans, the plasma device, the knowledge seekers, and the universal council, the plasma devices, are also connected to the game. So we can, instead of taking scoring points, taking coins and all that, the interesting part is that we can give our energy to specific areas: Ukraine, Venezuela, United States, Russia. all of it. And this is a way of directing our energies towards these areas. I mean, we hear things in the news or whatever you do, but here we are going to that country and doing something there. And with that, we bring our energy. It's an action, but transferring our energy, or transmuting our energy for the purpose of peace and enlightenment is something we can do through these games. This is an unprecedented opportunity for all of us. We think of us as plasma beings. We are energy beings. We know how to, we are capable of transferring energy. We are capable of doing soul traveling. Let's put this with the game. Before we do it physically, we can get the taste of it just by directing our energy. Instead of thinking of the game as we score points, we take this, we do this taking mentality, as soon as we reverse this, we can do a lot with this game. We can give. We can give our energy. We are connected to the game and we can transfer the energy right through it, just like any other plasma device would. We have to shift our frame of reference, our frame of operation. So this is the whole planet is our playground in this game. Not just what we did in the game, but the energy we transfer. Sometimes we may need to dissipate some sort of tense energy in certain places. That too is possible. So this is a whole other dimension of transmutation. Transmutation of energy, our energy for the purpose at hand on the planet. And being familiar with the names and all other things, we have a strong relationship, and we can even see some of the people's name and then see what country they're from. We can just drag our mouse or on top of the symbols of people and get their name, and they're from there, and people from all most of the countries are playing. We are all in it together. We're all in it together as equal. We are all in it together to help each other. This is something that we are learning. I mean, at the beginning, when we have very little points and few this little consciousness enlightenment or whatever the scoring mechanism is, we start with where we are in a sort of like the scarcity condition. But as we go through the game, we come to a point, do I need any more drinks? Do I need any more energy? Because I can give the drinks, the energy. Coming to books. Yes, some books are good to learn things, but if you have too many books, carrying those books takes a lot of energy. So sometimes it's good to give the books away. And there are actually provisions in the game to give things away. They call it beacon. And so take a look at the beacon stuff. That's kind of the one thing I have found where you can actually unload things, the drinks, the books, and so forth. The books of wisdom and meditations, all of them are good. But we get the books, we learn it, use it, and the books are no longer necessary. We can give it to those who need it. So we are transmuting the energy in the books, in the drinks, water, whatever, and then we can share it. So as we are getting the idea that the game of peace and enlightenment is not just a game. Do we need a manual? No. When we are born on this planet, did it come with our life came with a manual? No. You play, we all play, we learn, and now that we have learned that we have enough energy, more than enough energy we can give. So the game is a way of shifting from the scarcity mentality and taking mentality to giving mentality. This is the most wonderful thing about the game. And there is no hurry. You have to pace yourself kind of game. This one is. And so it's fun. And we can do a lot with this. And this is just the beginning. Just imagine, and some of you will come up with ideas that we cannot even dream right now as we proceed. So let's get into it, or we can change the world, bring the peace and enlightenment and prosperity as we do it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my dear Mosfik. You explained it, the soul of the game, so beautifully. And of course, in this peace and enlightenment game, you can be the messenger of peace. As always, we are. So play the game, be the messenger of peace for all the countries, those who are in the process of destruction, matter, material, as said. So clear, so clear space. Thank you. Thank you so much, my dear. Thank you so much.
Next, I have a video from the 623rd, the announcements. It's about 4 minutes. Play that now.
Please note, go to Keshe Foundation. If you're a student registering, there's an update on the registration side. Go there. Unfortunately, as you know, when we started the teaching some 10 years ago plus, we put a fee of $100, 100 euros per annual fee. Originally, if you remember, was 1,000. But due to huge increases in the cost and everything in past years, with your permission, we increased the tuition fee that it can at least cover for next 10 years, that we don't need to come back and increase it by this and that. So there's a increase justifying with all the costs which we have in the background. And when you register for a student, what we call fee, we have brought it in line with as part of the sales than donation, because these donations of teaching was creating a lot of problem for us, but internally we solve it. And the coins as a donation will change to purchase of coin. You can actually purchase, if you want, cash coins from the Keshe Foundation or through our sales in a coming time, maybe in the next 2 or 6 months. So our donation system has changed. Our The structure of the Keshe Foundation, as I said before, has changed. We have gone into a headquarter-based subsidiaries that we can control everything in a very different way. Keshe Foundation manufacturing will disappear as your main front face to new companies, but stays as the owner of the operation. So it becomes a headquarter base. These are because of the tax reasons we had to do this, by the orders and the things we had to face. Originally, Keshe Foundation Manufacturing was the mother owner of the European operation, and every subsidiary came to it. Now the mother stays away from any being touched, and subsidiaries become operational for their interactions, what they do, and the rest will be the same. We've done the same thing in China, the same thing, operations set up with market corporation, with the subsidiaries, and so it'll be the same. And as we become one in the coming time, the ownership of the Keshe manufacturing in Austria, market corporation shares, the Chinese corporation of Keshe Foundation will be handed over to the Keshe Foundation International, which means no one owns it except the humanity. No wealth will be passed on to no one, but they'll be brought in line that it stays the ownership of the humanity, the way the Keshe Foundation was set up from day one. I had the pleasure of speaking with one of the co-founder of the guy who set up, originally supported the very first angel supporter of the Keshe Foundation a couple of days ago. We speak once or twice a year. It's an old friendship, over 25 years. And he said, Mr. Keshe, you achieved what we set up 25 years together. Two brothers set up the first pages of the Keshe Foundation 20 years ago. And we were talking and said, now you see what it's become. What we envisaged in the mandate of the Keshe Foundation now is becoming reality 20 years ago. And it's nice to see that how this thing has taken shape and how this coin, the operation of the Keshe Foundation, now has become a global operation in a very different way.
Next, we have an announcement or announcements from Mr. Keshe, and those announcements were sent out as a text message. And I believe Mehran is going to read the first one, which is the cosmic ray communication sessions.
Hello, can anybody else do that? Because I'm not in the right place, actually.
Well, I think he said this is a transmission session, which is perhaps different than the other ones. Mr. Keshe said that what we've learned from the 3I interactions will be sort of used, I think, in this transmission. There's one in January, February, I believe in March. You can yes.
Well, this is the actual announcement from Mr. Keshe. I think we're supposed to read it.
Okay, I'm just seeing the background there.
I don't have that. It's in the. It's in our
Telegram.
Telegram.
Yes, it's in Telegram now.
I can.
I'm just
I could put it up on the screen.
For it. Oh, you have it?
I could copy it and put it up in a text file.
I'll just read it here. Cosmic Ray Communication Sessions. This is the announcement from Mr. Keshe Foundation following the launch and peace launch of Peace and Enlightenment plasma game last week is set to enhance the experience of joy of playing this game in combination with the emotion of enlightenment experience that make the participants feeling the emotion of peace and being able to open field dimensions that bring new understanding of the world of creation through the enlightenment this game brings forward. We are set to expand our knowledge and transfer of emotions and enhancing the goal of the game with pleasure, knowing that collective fields of players in the near future can be utilized to bring about collective fields that can change not only them, but those who are citizens of this planet. I think Mosfeq referred to this. We will use what we learned from this experience for future developments in helping the knowledge seekers to achieve faster emotional fields, strength, to help them to create the fields needed to achieve rapid and fast emotional essence, to be able to achieve transmutation. You can book your attendance in these sessions by using the following link. Places for the sessions will be limited due to sensitivity of tests. And it gives a link. There'll be a Valentine Day experience. We have tried to give a gift of love to all those who have been with us to experience the loving emotion on the most loving day of the year. Join us to try to experience this emotion of giving and loving unconditionally in this unique session, as it will be new grounds for us to celebrate the maturity of the technology and being able to create the emotion of love and peace. You can join us in this Valentine session as we learn more about this emotion and its expansion in our daily lives. We thank you for all your support and hope we can achieve much more than we could ever think of if it was not for your solid backing of the Keshe Foundation's work. So thank you all, and we kiss your hands of the knowledge seekers. I'm just adding that in, of course. Okay. So join us in these sessions. This help keeps the Keshe Foundation free for humanity and to continue the amazing development. This is the pinnacle of science on this planet and probably across the universe, as I understand it. Anyone else?
Let me put the link in
Sure.
for people.
And as Mosfeq was explaining, there's a couple of books in the game, the Book of Wisdom, the Book of Meditation. But as Mr. Keshe indicated in the last workshop, many of our current books will need to be rewritten. And so if you're in the book publishing, writing, rewriting, this will happen in the coming period. But many of the books that we use in the universities or in the scientific levels, or many of the other ones, will be actually rewritten or enhanced to bring in this new understanding of the twinity of the energy and the matter. So if you're in that sort of writing or would like to help, you can send. Again, you may not get a response because the books are probably not ready to be written. They are ready to be written, but the structure needs to accept this new energy dimension as to be the, in a way, the supreme of the existence of the matter. And this is what we'll start going into. We'll leave the matter more and explore the energy dimension. I think Myrnis has indicated, as we all know, the energy takes shape. It comes together before we see the matter state. This is just the symbol for this transmission or communication sessions. Anyone else?
So there'll be 3 sessions of this new bundle, January 30th, February 27th, and March 20th. So that should be interesting. the link in there. Let me just post it. Okay, the link is posted to that. Would you like to describe the Valentine Day experience session?
I did read it.
Oh, did you? Sorry.
Yes, that emotion of peace and love will be generated and conveyed, I think, during that session, or that will be the attempt.
Oh, there is a different link. Somehow it links different, but it's the same. Ah, see, it says special after. That's the difference.
Yeah, Valentine Day experience session to give the gift of love to all those who have been with us, to experience the loving emotion on the most loving day of the year. And of course, in the universe, he said we don't call it love, we call it giving. And I think this is what we're all learning to do, is to get closer to that unconditional giving aspect. I think Brigitte would like this one, Rick.
No doubt.
Unless maybe she took it. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just another knowledge seeker who shares in the Reactor group some of the pictures, especially with hearts.
I see there's a special for Valentine couples. 2 people for €750 compared to 1 for 500.
May bring a new spark into the relationship, perhaps.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting. I'll just read it here. The session is the test in how we can use the cosmic rays technology and techniques to enhance the emotion of kindness and loving, as we consider this emotion is what will affect more men in space than any other emotion. It's an interesting statement to make.
Yeah, and I hear one of the podcasts I listen to, the fella always ends up with saying, be kind to others. Kindness is free. Just give a warm glance or a smile to someone. They may be in need. So he calls it the kindness. We're in the kindness revolution. It doesn't cost you anything to be kind.
All right. Well, I believe that brings us to our needs and wishes. And I'll remind folks that we'll have a 30 seconds of silence after the speaking of each wish. Would you like to go ahead, Shweta?
Thank you, Martin.
Okay.
Yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you. Beautiful souls from all over the planet, from all over the cosmos. Welcome. Before the wishes, with any comment or anybody wants to have some share, beautiful souls, so much welcome.
I see the first wish is Mark is supposed to do that one. Let me see. There was some questions from Tender, but I think we've taken care of that. There's The question, in the game, do you interact with other knowledge seekers? Do you know specifically who they are? Or do you play that alone? Well, you do actually interact with others in some respect. It's my answer that the game is dynamic. Excuse me. The game is dynamic with dozens of players simultaneously. You can see the screen name of others by hovering the mouse over them. And there is interactions in that you have to be kind of careful you don't steal something from someone that's planning on picking it up, or you have to get together in groups sometimes to share plasma rewards. And I think there'll be further interactions as we learn the game and get into some of the higher levels of it as well.
Yeah, I went to Palau, as I said, there was a treasure chest there. And then I saw almost simultaneously another person. I had arrived or was in the process of arriving. I was closer, and they arrived as well. And this is where we both entered into that ritual circle of what's referred to, where we share the plasmas at the end of a time period. So we both were able to arrive at the same location and share the offers that were at that location.
Mm-hmm.
Share equally.
I did get a PDF sent from Abraham on the rules. So I'll just post that here so we can have it on the screen for folks. It might help with the description that's already available in the rules inside the game itself, which is pretty basic. So I'll just quickly go through. I won't say it all, but it's got the general rules for the game, the basics of the game, the main screen, the accounts and login, and about travel, energy.
As far as Rick recognizing the other players, I think you'll see perhaps just a couple of initials or their username, which may not be their actual name.
Right. Yes. You'll get the user username, as you say. But that's usually a pretty good hint as to who they are. Some people use their own name as a username, for example, or a common name that we know them by as knowledge seekers. And there is an in-game chat as well that you could attempt to communicate with others. I don't think it goes from player to player, but it goes from player to all players. And then if somebody's picking up on the conversation, you could interact with them or give hints to people. You know, I just found out that I could do something, and maybe that's helpful to someone. So you could find ways to help people and put it in the chat. Might be interesting. So Abraham's description here continues with energy consciousness, the knowledge and the daily quiz, inventory and items, map markers and rewards, the other players. It mentions you can see the presence and movements of other players when this feature is enabled. This is a permanent part of the game environment. And there's instructions for starting the game and for getting the in-game help.
Right. As we indicated, instead of a competition, it's more of a cooperation and a collaboration with the others. Perhaps in a twinity or even to multiple ways of working together.
Yes, one way you can do it is if you have an excess number of books or energy, you can sell them. And you put up whatever price you want and make it available, and people can go into the marketplace inside the game. And if they're desperate for some energy or one of the books, they can purchase them inside the game with your in-game earnings. It's all quite elaborate and so on, but it's once you figure out the basics, it's pretty simple in many ways too. But of course, there's several layers that we don't see perhaps as a beginning gamer in this, and we think we got it all figured out, and then a whole other level opens up.
Thank you to Abraham and Sanjay. Thank you, Abraham, for sharing, teaching. This is the way everything starts. Everybody share, as we said, share, help each other. Thank you so much.
Okay, I think that brings us to our needs and wishes here. All right, Mark, if you want to go ahead.
Sure, with pleasure. We, the Universal Council, elevate the soul of the leaders and the population throughout the American continent to live in harmony, respecting each nation as equal. These are our wishes, and our wishes we command.
We, the Universal Council, give freely from our souls to elevate the soul of the leaders to achieve peace in the Middle East now. Our wish is our command. We are present. We, the Universal Council, give from our soul for the protection of those living in fear in natural disaster areas, and our soul wish to help cover all emotional and physical needs. Our wish is our command. We are present.
We, the Universal Council, give through our souls that Russia and Ukraine can find peace for the sake of all the families of the planet.
Please, the Universal Council, elevate the souls of the leaders involved in the conflicts in Sudan and other areas only by greed, with unconditional love and inner peace, so that they respect the lives of all populations because they are sovereign and free. Our wish is our command. We are present.
We, the Universal Council, give through our soul. This has already, I read this already. Next.
Yes, we're done now with the needs and wishes. Thank you.
Yes, I have another wish which is not there, if I may. Okay. This is a wish that says, we, the Universal Council, give from our souls to all leaders to come to peace and respect of laws of humanity for a long-term prosperity of all. This is our wish, and our wish is our command.
Okay, we did have a question in the YouTube from Win, who said, Mark, how do we know that we can share items with other players when arriving at the destination? And maybe Mark and Moshfek could explain this.
It's only happened once to me. You need two players there, and it's called the ritual circle. If you stay there for the time allotted, you will split whatever. If you press on it at the time, it'll bring up how many players are there, the plasmas that are being offered, and a couple of other things. None of it is clickable. But if you wait till the time expires, which it shows somewhere, you will both then split the offer at that location or share the offer equally. Hope that answers, Win.
So the ritual circle is one that, you know, there is a number of people needs to be there, and additional people can come in, and it has a certain period of time, and at the end, whatever plasma is there is shared among all of the people there.
So if there were three people, then if they were offering three plasmas at the end of the period, each one would receive one plasma to their wallet. Yes.
And then there is a plasma circle, an arrangement where you join the circle. It comes on for a period of time, and it has a certain requirement of, you know, the number of players that need to be there for it to be active. As soon as that number of players come together, then the plasma that the cloud has is distributed equally among those people, and it ends then at that time. Like ritual circle stays for the period, allotted period, whereas plasma circles just, it ends as soon as the number of players reach the predetermined numbers. And there is another one called Beacon, where it appears on a country and you can donate the books and the drinks you have collected to it. And it says that it has plasmas, and I don't know what this plasma do. I don't think,
I think it gives out plasmas once you've, it splits it up according to your donation.
Yes, that's what it says, but I have done several tests and it doesn't. It may be a bug.
I thought that happened to me too. I had donated all my books, like everything, way more than I was supposed to, and I didn't get anything back out of it. So that's what bankrupted me at one point.
I've done some systematic testing, like I gave this much books. I mean, I essentially finished the Beacon and so I was expecting a certain number of plasmas, but maybe it's for the country or something else. It doesn't have to come to me necessarily. So there are that kind of things that I think appearing in the horizon. It's giving, but not necessarily coming to us. So, the sharing can happen. Like, let's say Russia needs some energy. A number of people come there, they give their energy. I mean, it can be in terms of the items in the game, or it can be through at the soul level. So there is all kinds of possibilities. There are all kinds of possibilities. So, and things will get developed. So, we will see things appearing, because it's not a fixed game, because it can change as new capabilities and systems become available. And it's not necessarily new capabilities of the new system. Even our own capabilities can engage in different ways as we learn to play, as we learn to give. So there's all kinds of possibility. I think it's
And in the universe, isn't that the way certain things are created, where different ones give different fields of what they don't need to a certain entity? I may give some, you may give some others. So perhaps that's a similarity in the game, where you leave a couple books, I leave a couple more books, and all of a sudden creation starts to take shape. Or added to.
Yeah. So, and the interesting thing is that, much like life, we play the game and we learn what to do, and we learn to do things that we never knew we could. So let's have the fun.
Yes, and as indicated, we're setting up a future structure for that no one will be hungry and there won't be any war policy. So this is the beginning of this network, but we're certainly enjoying it going out the gate.
Okay, anything else we need to say about that? Well, I suggest we wrap things up and get gaming.
Of course, the testimonial meeting is it next Monday, Rick? Perhaps we'll hear.
Yes, let me check
amongst
the new calendar here. That will be Monday the 12th coming up, will be our new testimonials meeting. And people are invited, whether you have a testimonial or not, you're invited to the testimonials meeting to hear the testimonials of others. But if you do have something that has occurred to you It could be just a small thing. It might be small to you, but perhaps it will affect someone else. Just hearing your contribution to the plasma technology, to being a testimony. It could be an emotional change or some other perspective change that might have occurred. And we'd like to hear from you. Or if you've got a plasma reactor in your garage that's hovering over the floor and you don't know what to do with it, well, that would be good also to connect with us and do a show and tell of your testimony of your technology. And we're still looking for that one.
And of course, one of the aspects, Rick, is opposed to many of the other games, not exclusive, of course, is there's no killing and there's no stealing in this game. And many of the other games are based on that sort of emotion. As we've seen many of these games the children play.
Mm-hmm. And that's refreshing in many ways.
Thank you, my dear Rick. Thank you, Mark.
Yes.
To be a child again, it's beautiful playing games. Thank you. And beautiful souls. We are here to serve, not to be served, dear one. And of course, welcome, welcome, welcome again to Swagatam into the beautiful, beautiful energy, beautiful beauty and totality of Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute organization. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the beautiful energy of all beautiful souls we are. So universal, so in love. Join, playing, play the game of love and peace. And of course, hug each other always, help each other. Join, follow Keshe Foundation, Spaceship Institute organization. The place of love, beauty and totality and peace, of course. So, thank you so much, beautiful soul. Salam, namaste.
Stefania has put into the chat that she started playing but not understanding. I don't think any of us have the full understanding yet, but come into the Reactor group if you can. I think Rick will and others will help to open it up a bit more at this point.
Yes, my dear Stefania. You can join tomorrow if you want to clarify more about the game. And thank you, the Universal Council.
Yes, that'll be the Keshe Plasma Reactor Group, which does start tomorrow, Wednesday, January 7th, and it will start at 7 a.m. Central European Time. We usually go for 4 or 5 hours for that session, and if you have any questions about the game and want to know more about it, that's a perfect place to have a look at that, because we will definitely be checking out the game in all of its details, and looking forward to that.
Yes.
All right. Is there anything else to say before we clap and dance our way into the day?
Does this mean I can? Does this mean I can quit my day job, Rick?
How many pennies have you made so far?
About
€4.
I have a New Year wish. I just thought about that when we think about the teaching of Mr. Keshe, there is one word which is hidden, but that's what ignites a lot of creation, and that's intention. Intention and attention, you go far. Just squeeze your intention, squeeze your emotions, and don't worry about what the people judge you, or they put the path for you. You know better now with all this teaching what's good for you, and just use your emotion, use your meditation, use whatever you know, exercise, physics, whatever. I feel my experience, personal experience, is that something is getting open for us. And if we are sticking to our emotion and the clouds are going away and the sunshine comes in. But it depends on us also to be steadfast and use everything in human possibility to get to our dreams. And just when everything gets dark, that's where the light starts to come in, because we have to go through that to think something new. So I wish all of you the light, the light of your soul, the sun of your soul. You brighten your day and your dreams and your happiness. And don't forget to laugh. Try to laugh, and then it brings you laughter. So I wish all of you laughter and joy this year, because the victory is just on the corner. And just that. Thank you.
And don't forget to dance. The reactions. Dance, dance, and clap, clap. Play the game. Dance, dance, your beautiful souls. Thank you. Thank you so, so much.
Think good, talk good, and dance good.
That's good. Of course, it completes the cycle. Thank you, my dear. Thank you.
All righty. Well, that brings to a close today's workshop. Thank you, everybody, for attending the 412th One Planet, One Nation, One Race for Justice and World Peace. We'll be back again next week with another installment. And don't forget about the Knowledge Seekers Workshop, of course, coming up on Thursday at 9 a.m. Oh, sorry, actually.
There was a time change.
There's
Yes.
been a time change, yes. And it's to, is it 6 p.m., Mark? Or?
Yes, I believe so.
Let me just double check on that.
And there still could be another change. Sometimes we've seen two changes. But right now, I believe it's set for 6 p.m.
Actually, yes, 6 p.m. CET. So that'll be 9 hours ahead of the usual time for wherever your local time is. All right, very good. I think that wraps it up. Bye, everyone. See you next time around.